What's up, everybody? It's the Alex Leak and Friends College Football Podcast, back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. Dustin, always on the show. Good to have you back on.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
And we got a special guest, my Uncle Dean. Dean, good to have you back on.
Yeah, thanks again for having me. Looking forward to this time together.
Yeah, and we've got your numbers ratings pulled up. And first of all, I want to get your thoughts on the weekend, opening week of football, college football. Your Notre Dame Irish played against Ohio State. What did you think of the first week of the season?
Well, the first week of the season I thought was very interesting. Um, I think some of the main characters did pretty much what they were expected to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the You referred to the Notre Dame game. I didn't think Notre Dame was really um, there at their top of the game, or it would have been a better game. But everybody expected Ohio State to beat them by 17. They only beat them by 11.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, something's awry there. Either Ohio State is not as great, or Notre Dame, wasn't playing played better than they thought.
And Notre Dame actually had the lead at halftime.
Yeah.
You know, they were in it, but what do you think was the biggest factor in that game? You think it was a lack of offense from Notre Dame, or
Tyler Buckner.
yeah,
Oh, I really think that it was not only was the defense of Ohio State stepped up. Um, I think the offense of Notre Dame, I don't know, they just kind of went into a shell.
yeah. Um, Dustin, you and me watched this game together. I mean, what were your thoughts on how Notre Dame played and how Ohio State looked? I think, me and you both were kind of feeling that it was going to be a shootout, and it ended up being pretty much the opposite.
Yeah, I did, and I I learned three things from this game. First of all, Notre Dame's defense is elite. Okay, when you can
Mm-hmm.
the team that they say is going to have the best offense in the country this year to 21 points, your defense is pretty elite. Secondly, in my opinion, Drew Pine should be starting at quarterback because I just think Tyler Buckner doesn't make enough plays to be able to be quarterback. And my last and final thoughts is uh Tommy Reese, man, you can't call a quarterback draw on a 3rd and 19. I think he didn't really open up the playbook and let Buckner be able to get some exposure.
Well, I, I have some pushbacks. I mean, Uncle Dean, what do you think? Uh, Tyler Buckner's relatively inexperienced, right? And so
Yes.
going going into Columbus in prime time against the number two team in the country, doesn't your game plan on offense kind of have to be a little conservative to protect your young quarterback?
Yeah, you're really at a disadvantage in that situation.
Yeah,
Um, Although sometimes that's a mistake. You don't know what you got until you really let them play football. You know,
yeah,
you hold them back, and then they're worried about making mistakes and things like that. I just like to see a little more freedom. Let the talent go. I mean,
yeah.
if he's at
If
Notre
you're
Dame,
gonna
he must be a
lose,
decent quarterback.
You
yeah.
so like I was gonna ask Dean. So, what do you think the future is? Do you think Tyler Buckner had a chance to be that guy?
I think he's got a chance to be that guy. I mean, this is one game. You know, we don't get to do all
Oh,
these
yeah.
preseason games and figure it all out. You figure it out on the fly. So, you can have a tough game, um, your first game, but that doesn't mean that that's going to be the storyline from then on.
This
So
this next Saturday is Marshall. For
yeah,
me, I need him to explode onto the scene. I mean, like if you can't explode onto the scene against Marshall, then you're not the guy, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, the whole offense has to explode. You can't just put it on the shoulders of one guy. If they don't, then the season is going to be up in question.
I was
Yeah.
like, do you think, this can't be like that Toledo game last year, right? The offense should be way better.
Yes, they really should. I was really quite surprised that they didn't do much better offensively in the first game. I was really surprised. Um, I guess you got to give Ohio State some credit, but I don't know. I think maybe the combination of play calling and being the first game and in the stadium where they're outnumbered fan wise. A lot of times that can upset enough that just it disrupts everything.
Now, hear me out. Now, the defense can play with anybody in the country. I believe.
Do you agree, Dean? Do you think the defense is that good, or is it still too early?
It's too early for me to tell. I had suspected both offense and defense to be very competitive. I mean, if not dominant.
Yeah.
This was a complete surprise to me.
Yeah, and you know, I it's easy to overreact to one game. I mean, and you can't undersell how tough of an environment it is to open the
Yeah,
season at Columbus, you know?
right.
So I think Notre Dame will be all right.
Well, they don't dare lose another ball game. I mean, they've pretty much set their course.
They
So
need to they need to run the table into that Clemson game, right?
yeah, absolutely.
And
That's going to be a big game.
good. So,
What's that?
and Clemson looks very beatable.
Yes, they do.
Yep. They didn't exactly put Georgia Tech away right off the bat, you know.
Yeah, I mean, in Georgia Tech, I mean, how can you struggle against Georgia?
We did a preview episode, me and Dustin. What was it? Was that Friday? And I actually called the upset. I called Florida to beat Utah, and I expected Georgia to be number one on your ratings list, but Florida's number one. And how about that win over Utah, who was pretty good?
Yeah, I mean, Utah is a good team.
Mm-hmm.
They at least they were very good last year. I mean, you expected them to be, as good as their rating uh, was given to them. And Florida was an unknown,
Yep.
and that's always the uncertainty of college football, the unknown. And
Mm-hmm.
you're playing at Florida in the swamp, and Florida's got everything to win, nothing to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's a perfect scenario, and they managed to do it.
Yeah,
So,
that was cool to see. The swamp is always tough to play at, so you never know. Yeah.
yeah, the numbers really was impressed with that particular uh, results. You
Yeah.
know, as you can see.
Yeah, it's cool to see Florida up there. It reminds me of like, past years back when Florida was dominant.
Yeah, and I don't think the polls really rewarded them much, did they?
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
12th in the AP poll, coaches poll 19th.
19 and 12, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm
I
going
mean,
unranked.
I mean that's a big move from saying that they're nobody to a big win.
Yeah.
But I think everybody misjudged the talent down there, um, and they're going to move up quickly. They got a big test next week.
Yeah. How do you think they fare against Kentucky?
Kentucky. Now if they win that ball game, then they're going to be one of the elite teams, right?
Yeah. That's that'll be big. And then at Tennessee 2 weeks later.
Oh,
So
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
yeah. So we'll see if that was just, just because it was a big home game, or again, all the hype, or if they really got something. So that's what I like about the numbers. That it likes winners, and
Mm-hmm.
it punishes losers. So
Spe-
we'll see. If they keep winning, they'll keep climbing. Now, if they win again, I'm not sure that the numbers will keep them on top.
yeah,
It will depend on what the other teams do. So
yeah.
um, the the number one spot can be uh, you know accomplished by just about any good team
Mm-hmm.
early in this thing. So I mean, you know, so I know that a lot of people would be just absolutely dumbfounded that they're that high. Um, but
It's all
you
right
look at what
though.
they did, and
Yeah.
I mean, they deserve recognition for
I
sure.
mean, that's probably the best win of the weekend, Um, and speaking of winning, let's keep it in Florida. How about Florida State 2-0 after, such a bad team last year, after a 2-0 start and a really good win over Brian Kelly's LSU. Was I cutting out?
Yeah, you are a little.
All right. Am I better now?
Well, I can hear you. You asked
Dustin?
about
I
you
can,
were talking
yeah,
about the Florida State game.
Yeah, let me re-ask it. So keeping it in the state of Florida and talking about winners, how about Florida State 2-0 and a big win over LSU and Brian Kelly?
Oh, I just love college football. It's uh I mean, Florida State earned that ball game, really. I mean, they should have won it in regulation.
Yeah.
But the a little a lateral down there on the goal line wasn't very brilliant, and and the amazing drive by LSU was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then come to have your bubble pops by a block. That was just an awesome game.
it,
I know,
how
Dustin,
about like,
you were going crazy at the end of that game.
yeah, Brian Kelly team doing Brian Kelly things, you know. Uh, anyways, to me, man, you we can't like say that it was just LSU who screwed up with all the mistakes. But Florida State's better.
Yeah.
They're better than what they've been, and I think they have to be because if they weren't, Mike Norville would be out the door.
Yes, yeah, I mean, they're improving. There's no question about that. So, you know, I think they're going to be someone to reckon with.
Yep. And then a surprising, I mean, I thought Georgia was going to win, but to win the way they did, 49-3 over Oregon, what a statement victory. It really answered all the questions about could Georgia replace all that talent they lost after last year.
Yes,
I
yeah.
mean,
I guess they didn't lose as much as you thought, huh?
yeah. And is Oregon like a joke, or is Oregon not going to be that good? What do you think? What with Bugs?
Well, Oregon to me, they've not been the Oregon of old.
Hmm.
Their rating where they were maybe was a little bit too high. I mean, they had a transfer quarterback that we're familiar with down here in Auburn.
Yep, Boatneck.
Um, yeah, Bo Nix was supposed to be the savior for Auburn, and wasn't. And
Yeah.
so he just kind of skedaddled. And
Hmm.
I mean, I think he's a good quarterback, but um, and when you're on a new team, there's a whole lot of stuff to learn.
in my opinion, I see it different. I think, the SEC is Alabama's going to underestimate some of the teams on their schedule. Like Tennessee, I would not sleep on them. And you know what? I'm going to have a bold take right now. I think Arkansas either upsets Bama or Georgia.
All right, we've taken note.
I'm just saying it's not an easy path for Bama. I know the Utah State coach was like, "This is the greatest football team I've ever seen," but he's playing your Utah State team. Like,
Well, I think on both cases, I think they did what they were supposed to do, and I think they're pretty good.
Yeah. It's gonna come.
I think they can repeat if they keep their act together.
Mm-hmm.
That's saying a lot.
can I just talk about like how their first three games are? I mean, Colorado State, Hawaii, and UConn. Come on, Michigan, you got to do better than that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they're not the only team though that pulls in all the little pushovers to start their season.
Yeah.
Who does Alabama? Alabama plays Texas, and then I think they play some other podunk guy. Or they use these early games as preseason. Many of them do, and so to start with the Ohio State Notre Dame, that's nuts.
Yeah.
And for Georgia to start with Oregon is, that wasn't very smart.
For Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oregon.
And then I mean, that's just the way it's done anymore. I like the big games right off. I mean, you make a statement and then, come get me.
I hate to say this because I know you're kind of partial to Texas. I don't think they have much of a shot against Bama next week. I like Texas. I want them to compete, but what do you think?
Um, I really think it could be a good ball game.
Yeah.
It could be. Um, but just looking at the surface of it, I would expect Alabama to pull that away somewhat convincingly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't expect Texas to really do that much any more than they did last year.
Yeah.
Hear me
What do you
out.
think? Yeah.
This Texas game is the first time that Alabama leaves either Georgia, the state of Georgia, Louisiana, or I believe Tennessee in a long time. Alabama's going to unforeseen territory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
That'll be
isn't
interesting.
this ain't no neutral site game. This is at Darrell K Stadium, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna be rooting for Texas. I hope it's a game.
Yeah.
What did you think, Dean? Did you catch any of North Carolina Appalachian State?
Yes.
He laughed.
How crazy was that?
All I can say is I love college football.
Man, I'm telling you, it's the greatest sport to me.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. It is just it's so entertaining, and anything can happen, you know.
What's
And
crazy is though, is like a lot of the analysts are sitting here like, we're gonna put Notre Dame on upset alert when they go to North Carolina. I'm like, dude, their defense is like almost terrible because Appalachian State put up 62 on them, and then the week before, Florida A&M put up 38.
yeah. How can you give up over 60 points? I
Yeah.
mean, it's like, do you even have any players out there? Jeez. That's awful. I just can't imagine the defense being that bad.
Yeah. I don't know how that happens, but
Yeah.
One of my favorite games of the weekend, I believe this might have been Friday night, was Old Dominion beating Virginia Tech.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah, that was cool to see.
Yes.
That's the second time. And what's crazy is, man, it's so crazy how bad Virginia Tech has fallen off. I mean, every year
Yes.
consistently since Frank Beamer's been, since when Frank Beamer was head coach, they were always top 25. Ever since he
Yeah.
left, they've collapsed.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. The program has completely fallen off the table for sure.
Frank Beamer come back.
And then
Yeah.
how about Iowa winning 7-3 over South Dakota State, but no touchdown? That to me was wild.
You keep making them
I
laugh.
mean, I mean, you win 7-3. I mean, I mean, you couldn't be any more embarrassed. You know, I mean, in a win, you couldn't be any more embarrassed with a win than that. You know,
Yeah,
Well, the good thing is
but
because
you gotta remember, South Dakota State's a very good Division II team.
yeah,
You know, they're playoff caliber uh, teams.
yes, they
They're
are.
I mean, that happened to a couple other teams that just barely got by Division II teams that are pretty good.
mm,
Um, why you would schedule one of those Division II teams? I don't know. I mean, why? Why would you do that? I mean, they're
yeah,
almost at that right same level. You got to remember, James Madison was a Division II team.
yeah,
Okay, and I mean, they were in the championship game, I think last year or a couple of years ago,
yeah,
and they showed just how strong they were.
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Go
Uh,
ahead,
First year in D1, and they won their ball game. So
yeah,
you know, I mean, not many Division II teams come over and start off with a win.
yeah,
So I was impressed with them.
yeah. Not not just a win, they kind of blew them out.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know, it's kind of like, you know, they never even missed a step.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dustin.
I just wanted to say that Iowa's offense was so bad that they benched Spencer Petras for the a new starting quarterback, and
I mean, wouldn't you?
yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
that was just plain awful. I mean,
Yeah. Um, let's see what else. I was rooting for Dustin. Me and you were watching this. ECU almost beat NC State. And what? Did they just miss the kick?
missed the extra point.
Yeah.
yeah,
Unbelievable.
yeah. Well,
But
those extra points really come back to haunt you, don't they?
yeah,
Yeah.
a game
Yeah,
that I really liked was Penn State and Purdue. That was fun to watch.
it was a
Yeah.
good game, wasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, if Jeff Brown would have ran the ball instead of passing on all three downs, I think Purdue leaves that game with a win.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a shot.
What do you think of that, Uncle Dean? You know, Purdue just seems to be like they got the lead. There's limited time on the clock. You got the ball. I'm always in favor of running the ball, taking time off the clock, shortening the game. But nowadays, you see a lot of teams being like super aggressive and passing in that situation. You get a couple incompletions, you're really hurting yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, you know, I think it was Ohio State coach Hayes said that, you know, there's three things that happen when you throw the ball, and two of them
Mm-hmm.
are bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, you're limiting your success. First of all, just throwing the ball.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I tend to agree that you got to kind of, you know, you got to play your kind of a game, and not get caught up in the moment, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And close your eyes, Navy fans, as they are ranked 131 in the first week of the numbers after a loss to Delaware.
Yep.
A home loss too.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, see, again, Delaware is a good team.
Yeah.
They're a good Division II team. And again, I asked the question, why would you schedule these guys? And that's the reason right there. You don't.
Yeah.
I can't believe Navy only scored 7 points.
Yeah.
I mean, what? They must not have any running attack at all this year.
I really hate to see what happens when they come up against Notre Dame.
Hey,
No,
put
but
up 50 on them.
Yeah.
what I was gonna say is, you speak of like the division, uh, two teams. I mean, it's just like I don't think nobody in the middle tier of college football would even want to play somebody like North Dakota State.
No, absolutely not. No.
And it's like, what's the benefit too? You're supposed to blow them out, and if you don't, then everyone's gonna make fun of you.
Yeah.
So it's a
No.
tough.
It's it's strange sometimes the teams that they pick, but I don't know how far out they made the schedule. But
Yeah.
you know, maybe when they put them on their schedule, they really weren't any good.
Mm-hmm.
Although North Dakota, they're always good. They've been good like forever.
We had a good triple overtime game in week 1. Houston survives UTSA.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good one.
UTSA has been a pretty good football team these past
Yeah,
couple of
they've
years.
been good. Yeah.
yeah, they're getting better. So crazy week 1. Let's look forward to week 2 here. Some games coming up. I mean, of course, Bama, Texas. That's the big game. Um,
There really isn't very many what I would call big games this
mhm,
weekend.
yeah,
Um, I mean, not really. Um, so I don't know. I guess, but I mean, that's one of the most intriguing games.
yeah. Hopefully it's decent.
Yeah,
When is that? Is that like noon? Yeah, noon
yeah,
kickoff.
yeah,
Yep.
See, that's another thing is Alabama's not used to that noon kickoff slot. It's usually 3:30 or
yeah,
8 o'clock. So
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
There's enough mixture of unknowns there that it could affect the tide completely.
mhm.
So I wouldn't say that this is an automatic.
Yeah,
and
that's gonna be fun to watch. That's a must-watch game right there.
Yeah,
another good game uh is in my opinion, I think this game's gonna be good and it's another noon game out of the SEC. How about a dark horse, South Carolina versus Arkansas?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. It's going to be um, it's going to give you a pretty good idea of whether Arkansas is really going to be a contender or not. Um,
yeah,
if they struggle with South Carolina, that's not going to be good. If they blow them out, then you're going to say, okay, now they are somebody. Well,
yeah,
Arkansas has a lot to prove in that game.
Baylor at BYU.
yeah. Is that a noon?
Go Cougars. No, that's actually a 10:15 game on ESPN.
Nice. I'm looking forward to number 24 Tennessee, number 17 Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah, at stupid Acrisure Stadium. That should be Heinz Stadium, but you know what they say.
Ooh,
Gotta change the name.
Tennessee has to go there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at Pittsburgh. Yep.
Ooh,
Go Pitt. Pat Narduzzi. Let's get that win.
that'd be a big win, man. That would set Pitt. That would set Pitt off on a good streak there, and Clemson better start playing better
Yep.
because
Yeah, absolutely.
People will start saying Kenny Pickett who? They get that win.
I
Yeah.
was gonna ask, Dean, how long do you think if Clemson still struggles, but they continue to win, and obviously go undefeated until Notre Dame plays them, but how do you think, or how long before you think Dabo switches to the freshman, Cade Klubnik?
Well, if he's going to stay with whoever he thinks is going to win ball games, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that's just the way he is. He's not afraid to pull and put in different guys. If you know if the quarterback keeps winning ball games, he's gonna stay there. You know, there's no sense making any changes unless you really need to.
I don't think DJ is going to struggle as much as I think he has a big year. I think that they kind of got out to a slow start, but you look at that final score, they ran away with it in the end, Dustin.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that was
It was
because
like,
they were playing a bad team who made bad team mistakes.
yeah, it just took them a
that's
little
true.
longer to blow them out. You know, it was decent at first, and then I think they'll be all right. Same with Michigan State, Dean. Did you see? I mean, Michigan State kind of struggled in the first half, finally pulled away late
Right.
in their game. It was a little concerning at first, but I think we'll be all right.
That's always been a contest though throughout the
Hmm.
years.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean,
so I mean, I'm not surprised that it was that close. Um,
yeah,
but they pulled it out. I mean, that's the main thing.
yeah,
Western's not no slouch in the MAC either.
Right.
yeah.
Well, I'm
Yep.
saying they're pretty good.
We mentioned this earlier, but 7 o'clock on Friday night, Kentucky, Florida. That's a must watch. I'm looking forward to
Yes, it
that one.
is. Yeah.
They have those two playing already.
Yeah, week 2, number 20
Ooh,
Kentucky, number 12 Florida. It says Florida Field. Is that the swamp?
yep,
It should be, right?
yeah, and
So,
this is a prove it. I mean, if Florida wins, the Florida fans can start saying, "Well, maybe Florida's back."
yeah. And even if they're not, they'll have the hype for a couple weeks and that'll be fun to watch.
But their quarterback Anthony Richardson is dynamic.
Yeah. He had a couple of really nice plays in that opener.
Yeah. And it's pretty tough to play at the swamp anyway. So
Yeah.
they're going to have their work cut out for them.
Any chance number 10 USC at Stanford on
No,
ABC?
No.
What, USC running away with that?
I don't know what USC will do.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. USC has been down for so long, and they've had some glimmer of hope the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is their year. I don't know, but they got to prove themselves to me. Um, and and Stanford's always been kind of a thorn in their side.
Yeah, that's true. That's
So
a game to keep an eye on. If they can
yeah,
pull it off, it's a really big start, a really good start, but it's a
yeah,
dangerous matchup. Yeah.
yeah, sure is.
now, no doubt that USC's offense is scary. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they got stars all over the place. With the guy who came with Lincoln Riley from Oklahoma. I think his name is Mario Williams or something like that.
Caleb Williams, right?
Yeah, Caleb Williams. There was also a whiteout who came with him too.
Nice.
And then the kid from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, they have weapons, but the problem is, it's Lincoln Riley. Their defense just isn't all that great to me, and I think that's what's going to cause them to lose eventually.
And Stanford, it doesn't matter how good Stanford is, they seem to rise to their opponent, especially when it's a rivalry game like this.
Oh yeah, they do the same thing when they play Notre Dame most of the time. You know, Stanford.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michigan should blow out Hawaii. That should be an easy win. Michigan fans will be talking national championship after 2 easy wins.
Yes.
Vanderbilt put up.
What's that?
Can we talk about one team out of the SEC? How about the Vanderbilt Commodores? Man, their first 2 games they just blew teams out of the water.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's surprising. They usually struggle.
Yeah, I never take Vandy seriously.
Nobody does. Nobody does. And then when they do something like this, you go, "What, Vandy? Are you sure about that?" But yeah, I mean, I remember a few years back when they had a great defense.
Yeah.
And they were in every SEC game. I mean, they were tough.
Wow.
So, you know, but it's pretty unusual to even be talking about them.
2 games that I can't wait for. I don't know what it is, but I love late football. The later the kickoff is, the better. And Baylor at BYU, 10:15 kickoff, a ranked matchup. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And then go Cougars. That's going to be a fun game. And then 11 o'clock kickoff, Mississippi State at Arizona.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mississippi State agreed to play a game that late?
Yeah, 11 p.m. kickoff.
Oh, that's a trap game. Arizona's taking that one.
Yeah. They're going to be sleepwalking.
No.
Go ahead.
What game did you say was before that one? Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Baylor BYU.
Oh yeah. You know, for Notre Dame fans, Notre Dame needs BYU to beat, you know, a team like Baylor because that also helps their strength of schedule.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of always look at that too. You know, just because you lose a ball game, you know, doesn't mean you're out of it if the upcoming opponents are still good. You got a chance to pull yourself up.
Dustin, who's BYU's head coach?
Kalani Sataki.
Do you like him, Dean? He seems to be like a future star a little bit. He's doing pretty well. Dustin, did you hear me?
Yeah, he's a pretty damn good football coach. I mean, you know, BYU never used to be somebody who would go into a game and people be like, you know, it's BYU. It's, you know, 4-8, 5-7, 3-9 type. But he's as soon as he got there, it's been a turnaround. You know, they've been getting dynamic quarterbacks, you know, good running backs. He's a great coach, in my opinion.
Yeah. Do you agree, Dean? Do you like BYU's head coach?
Yeah, I think that he's done a good job there, and they seem to be responding.
Yeah.
So I mean, all you got is encouragement, really.
Yep.
So yeah, I think Baylor better have their chin straps tight.
That'd be such a big win for BYU. Take down a top 10 team in the country this early.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would definitely have me scared when we play them in Vegas.
In Vegas, that's a neutral site or what?
Yeah. It's at the Raiders Stadium, Allegiant.
Oh, that'll be a good game, I think.
Yeah, it's the Shamrock Series, but by then I'm hoping and praying that Notre Dame's offense is at full force, and if it's at full force, BYU is losing by 20.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
That's why we watch them.
Yep. Can't wait for another week of football. So Florida #1, Georgia 2, Ohio State 3, Arkansas 4, Penn State 5. I love Rutgers sitting at 6 right now.
How about that, huh? Where did that come from?
Yep.
Go to Chestnut Hill and beat the Boston College.
It's a good win, yeah.
Yeah.
Bama, Northwestern at 8. Is that Oregon State at 9 and then Houston at 10?
How about them Wildcats 2-0?
Yeah.
1-0.
Yeah. Northwestern,
Yeah.
yeah. Big win over Nebraska. Dean, Nebraska just can't get it together. Do you think they need to move on from Scott Frost here soon?
Oh man, I don't know. Um, that
They
is
used
just
to,
such a mess, you know.
yeah.
Just seems like whatever they do, it backfires on them. You know, they always have things just seem to go wrong. You know, it's sad to see,
Yeah.
but you know, I mean, it's all. I still believe, always have believed that you can, no matter who the players are, the coach is the key.
Yep.
He's the one that puts the talent where it needs to be put. You know, he's the one that gets them fired up and does the strategy and all that sort of thing. Um, Coaches are key to teams, and if the players are not absolutely sold out to that coach, then they're not going to perform.
Great point. Great point.
And, everyone wants to see Scott Frost bring Nebraska back. It'd be such a good story. It seems
Yeah,
like it would make so much sense. But for
Well,
whatever reason, and a lot of these losses, they have the lead late and just can't finish.
yeah, yeah. At
It's
times they look pretty good, you know.
yeah,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is it's not like Nebraska sucks or anything. Every loss they had last season, they were within one score.
yeah,
And imagine you are within one score to Ohio State, Michigan, Michigan State, Wisconsin, all them teams you played, you were within one score.
yeah.
So
It's gotta be so frustrating.
it's not like they don't have the athletes. It's just they just beat themselves up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick, do you guys want to make some picks? I mean, Bama, Texas. Any chance Texas pulls this off?
Oh man.
I'm gonna pick Texas just to root for them, but
Ooh.
hey, they're
It's
at
like
home.
that is a big factor. And I like Quinn Ewers and Xavier Worthy, but I just can't go against Bryce Young, man. I think he's gonna have a special year. Special year.
Okay. What do you think,
Yeah.
Dina? Are you gonna pick Texas?
As an Auburn fan, I should,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't know until Alabama shows me that they can't dominate. I mean, you got to stay with them. That's so.
You believe it
What
when you
else?
see it, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't. Uh, but
I'm gonna
again,
go.
we play the games, don't we?
Yeah.
We don't just say that's the winner.
Dustin, you were hyping Tennessee up a little bit. I'm not buying it. I don't buy Tennessee for a while now. I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Ooh, I'm going the Volunteers, man. I like Hendon Hooker. I think he's a pretty good quarterback.
All right. It's been a while since I could count on Tennessee. It feels like it's like Peyton Manning was the last time. What do you think, Dean?
Well, man, um, as being in the Southeast Conference here in
Hmm.
Alabama, it's hard to uh, pull for anybody other than our team.
Yeah.
uh,
So, you know, um, and so I don't know. I think Pittsburgh will pull it out, even though it's
Plus,
at Tennessee.
no, it's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Yep. And
Yeah, yeah, it's at, yeah, they're home. So, yeah, I mean, I don't. I think that that's a win for Pittsburgh.
yeah, I like Pat Narduzzi, their head coach. He came over from Michigan State.
Yeah,
I'm always gonna root for him. Um, Kentucky, Florida. Dustin, where are you thinking? I'm gonna go Florida here.
You
At
know,
home. At
I
home.
Will Levis to me is the better of the quarterbacks.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Over Richardson?
Will Levis, yes, he's supposed to be a first round draft pick.
Man, give me Richardson. I think Richardson outplays him.
I'm going Kentucky.
Oh, give me Florida. Dean, what do you think? You're the final vote here. Which way are you going?
Yeah, it looks like they're playing at Florida, the Swamp.
Yep. Yep. That's gonna be
Remember last game at the Swamp?
yep.
Yeah.
Dustin,
Yeah.
this isn't basketball.
So yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think the Gators will pull this one out.
Nice. What was that, Dustin?
I say, oh, I see how it is. You guys are ganging up on me.
And then our final pick of the night, the late game. I can't wait for this game. Baylor at BYU. Give me BYU. Big win.
Cougars.
What do you think, Dean?
I like Baylor. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you really why. I just
Mm-hmm.
I just I like their program. They're always competitive.
Yeah.
Um, the bad thing is that they're away and it's a late game.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that makes it a little more difficult. But I think I'll just stay with Baylor.
Yeah. You're right, though. Baylor's always competitive and they always get slept on. Baylor seems to never get the respect.
Well,
That's true.
Dave Dave Aranda is actually a pretty good football coach.
Yeah.
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 But Dean, my question to you is: what is your score prediction for Notre Dame Marshall? Do you think the offense actually opens up and our defense holds Marshall to less than about 27 points?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, if Notre Dame isn't absolutely um, incensed with anger and
Mm-hmm.
frustration and doesn't take it out on Marshall, I'll be
Yep.
surprised.
I agree. I'm with you guys. I think Notre Dame wins this big. I would say like 45-17.
Yeah, that wouldn't be surprising. I mean, I think you know they got to get it rolling, and this is the time to do it. And it's the right opponent.
Yep.
How do you like Audric Estime? I think he's gonna be somebody to be reckoned with in the future.
Who's that?
Notre Dame's third tailback, Audric Estime.
Oh
Isn't that
yeah,
is that number 7?
yes,
Yeah.
Yep.
absolutely, yeah,
He's a
impressive.
beast. Yep.
Yeah.
And then my Michigan State Spartans are going to destroy the Akron Zips.
Oh yeah, that's Akron hasn't been good since. Whoo, I can't remember.
They missed out on.
Akron, I don't even
Yeah.
know. Does Akron even have uniforms?
I don't even know.
Uh,
They missed
uh,
they missed out on getting the tight end LeBron James. They didn't recruit
There
him.
you go. Yeah.
Marshall do good though in the transfer portal. They got Colombi from the old starting quarterback for Texas Tech. He's not no slouch now.
Yeah.
Marshall. All right.
Yeah. But I mean, everybody's big on him because you beat Norfolk State 55-3.
Quality win.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe they can put up 20, but I don't think they're going to match Notre Dame. Notre Dame needs to put up 40, at least 30 plus, you know?
They really need to put it together.
Yeah. But sounds good. Well, it was great to have you on, Dean. Good stuff as always. And it's cool to see the numbers started out with the Florida Gators week 1 leading it. And we're going to follow this thing all season long and see how it goes.
Yeah, I know if you share this with anybody else, they're going to think you're an idiot.
It's early. We told everyone early on it's going to be a little crazy.
Yeah, I don't think they realize it's going to be like this.
I like Florida
You
being
know,
number one, and if
but
they take care of business, win 2 in a row, they'll be up there.
maybe
Yeah,
depends on what the rest of them do. I mean, not only do winners get credited, but how they play, what they do, who how good their opponent is makes a big difference. And
yeah,
Florida has a good chance of staying there with the opponent they've got.
yeah. That'd be a good win for them too. I mean, I know it's at home, but beat Kentucky and stay 2-0, Dustin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on with us, Dean. I have another buddy to talk college football with. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have enough fellow college football people around to really discuss this stuff with.
Mhm.
So it's a really, like I said, it's a honor, a privilege for me to be involved with you guys.
Yeah,
And
it's awesome. We love
and
it.
I look forward. I'm going to look forward to it each time I'm invited. So
Yeah, it's an honor for us as well. We know you put a lot of hard work and effort into this number system, and you watched a ton of college football over the years, so we really respect your opinions.
I
Um,
appreciate that. Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna say one other thing, but I forget what it was. So, but it's gonna be a great week. Week 2 coming up. Can't wait. Dustin, good stuff as always.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Dean, for coming on.
All right.
Thank you to our listeners. Don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment, let us know what you think. And have a great week, guys. Peace out.
Bye.